guys, welcome back to Ingram Orchids and More. Excuse the wind, hopefully it doesn't sound too terrible on camera, but today we're going to do just a quick little spotlight video on a species of orchid we have here. This is Epidendrum porpax, and we're going to look closer. Teeny tiny little flowers on it, and they are very bizarre looking. And so this is a plant that, I can't speak too much on the the absolute ins and outs of the plant, because I don't think I've had this plant for very long, probably about a year or so. That being said, what I do know about it from growing it at where I work at the nursery is it seems to like a lot of water. It likes medium to low light, so a little bit on the shadier side than something like a cattleya or a vanda, but it does want frequent watering. And so I had an old piece of Guatemalan tree fern, and I just strapped its little tree fern mount onto there. As you can see, there's no new roots or growth over onto its new tree fern mount, but what I did was I just zip tied the old mount to a new mount. And what I hope will happen, theoretically, is eventually this plant will grow over here and up here. And I really don't pay too much attention to this plant. I thought it was cool and unique. It's not one of my favorite orchids, but I think it's interesting enough to have it. It seems pretty easy to grow. It doesn't seem to have a lot of issues. It kind of hangs out here with a lot of low light, like Oncidium, Sherry Baby, Panhopias, Bulbophyllums. I got all that kind of good stuff sitting over here behind me, and it just kind of hangs out there. So it gets pretty frequent water during the summer, and when the sun's higher in the sky, this is going to be a shadier section during most of the day. And about it, does it have a fragrance? If it does, I'm not smelling anything. It's just a cool and interesting little species. So it probably needs to be grown mounted and or in a basket with a moisture retentive media, but also it's got good airflow around it. I can't tell you where this plant comes from. I've kind of forgotten. I should have looked it up before the video, but it seems to do okay here in Central Florida's climate. I do bring it in if it gets really, really cold, like we had a couple nights ago, nights in the 30s. It got brought in because everything got brought in. But it seems to be growing okay. I'll let y'all know in the future if it doesn't grow okay. Maybe I'll have more to say about it next year. But it seems like a great little orchid to have. I know other folks in other parts of the world can grow this, even inside. So I know it can be done. It doesn't seem to be too difficult. So if you see Epidendrum porpax and you like the flower, maybe give it a try. Oh, and fertilizing. It gets fertilized with everything else, when I remember. And so, if it got more fertilizer, the plant might have looked a little bit better by now. But it doesn't seem to be too fussy about the lack of fertilizer. So, just keep that in mind. Alright, thanks guys. We'll see you next time.